Pokemon has been with me for as long as I can remember, from starting my journey playing Pokemon Yellow on my transparent purple Game Boy Color, to the time my elementary school won a chance to see Pokemon 3 the movie for winning a Warner Brothers reading competition, my return to playing Pokemon TCG in the Sun and Moon era, plus traveling all around the world because of it, and getting the chance to meet so many new people, and of course starting this YouTube channel. To say that Pokemon has had a huge impact on my life is an understatement. That's why when I wanted to do something big for my 5-year anniversary of the channel, I wanted to do something that would encompass as much of that journey as possible. Now, it may not come as a surprise to a lot of you, but my favorite Pokemon is Blastoise. So of course, when Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's Indigo Disc DLC introduced Kanto Pokemon back into the mainline series, it clicked in my mind. I would train the best Blastoise in the world. What makes something world's greatest? Does it mean being well known? Or maybe it's getting first place in competitions? To most, this title has lots of different criteria, but what I decided would make this Blastoise the greatest Blastoise anyone has ever known is a few simple things. And to do that, this Blastoise would become a Ribbon Master. Now, a Ribbon Master is a Pokemon that has gotten every single possible ribbon and mark throughout every single Pokemon title that it can receive. And with each ribbon having different criteria, this Blastoise would have many accomplishments that would make many truly see how great it was. Now, the best Blastoise in the world is great and all, but I decided, what if we made him shiny too? And so I decided to do some shiny hunting on stream. By the way, I do stream on Twitch and TikTok weekly, so in case you want to go ahead and check that out, link will be down in the description. We went ahead and started looking for a shiny Squirtle, and lucky enough we were able to get it under 150 soft resets. With our starter secured, we made our way through the region, assembling a team that would help Shellshock rise to the top of the Indigo Plateau. With our Kanto team ready, we took on Lorelei, Bruno, Agatha, and Lance, each worthy of their Elite Four spot, but no match for our champion-worthy Pokemon. All that stood between us and the champion title, and our first ribbon, was our rival. And after a fierce battle, our team reigned victorious. And while our Kanto's Journey team ends here, Shellshock's legacy was just beginning. With our GBA link cable in hand, we were able to transfer Shellshock into the Hoenn region on our copy of Pokemon Emerald. After a quick tour to Lilycove City to get our 20 contest ribbons, plus a pit stop at Hoenn's Elite Four and Champion Wallace, we headed over to the Battle Frontier to collect our final 2 ribbons in Pokemon Emerald. First up was the winning ribbon, which requires your Pokemon to be level 50. As I was saying, we start our climb up to 50 wins in the Battle Tower with our level 50 Pokemon. With each loss, we had to start back at square one, and this could be one of the most difficult parts of getting these Gen 3 ribbons. But we finally managed to get the winning ribbon after a couple days, and then using slightly different team, we conquered the open level format for the victory ribbon. And at this point, I realized something very important, that there was an obscure Pokemon game that had one ribbon we needed for Blastoise to truly become a Ribbon Master. That game was Pokemon Coliseum. While I've played pretty much every Pokemon game that has ever been on a Nintendo handheld console, I've never really played games that needed a GameCube or a Wii, except for Pokemon Ranch. So I decided to go ahead and play through all of Pokemon Coliseum, all for one single ribbon. And let me be clear, this game is actually really awesome. The whole Shadow Pokemon and snagging mechanic was a cool concept, and even Pokemon Go now has Shadow Pokemon as a staple of their game. But the ribbon was pretty tedious ordeal on its own. The ribbon was only available to trainers who beat 100 battles in a row with the same Pokemon team. And of course, this only opened up after you beat the whole game. So after unlocking Mount Battle, we went ahead and transferred over Shellshock over to my Wii, and then begun beating 100 trainers in a row. With Master Batarasso defeated, we collected the Earth Ribbon, and that made every single Generation 3 ribbon acquired. Jumping to Generation 4 also required us to jump into a new generation of console, the Nintendo DS. And unfortunately, my original gray first generation DS had a broken top screen, but I had a jealous sister growing up who wanted to play Nintendogs on my Nintendo Switch all the time, so my parents bought her a DS Lite, which I'm currently borrowing. I'm not giving it back, Jesse. Anyways, with Shellshock back in Pokemon Emerald, we slotted the cartridge into the GBA slot and Pokemon Diamond into the DS slot to bring him over to the land of Sinnoh. Here, we met another Champion League that gets us the Sinnoh Champion Ribbon, some new contests to complete, and a new daily ribbon for each day of the week, plus a newly updated Battle Frontier with more than 2 ribbons this time. But for some reason, I decided to move him into Pokemon Heart Gold to do the Battle Tower instead. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's move Shellshock over to the game where they added even more Pokemon for us to worry about, and even better NPC trainers. In this new iteration of the Battle Tower, we actually have 6 different ribbons to get. 2 for single battles, for beating Palmer at the 21st and 49th battle, 1 for beating 50 battles in the double battles, 1 for beating 50 battles with an NPC partner, 1 for beating 50 battles with another person, myself on another GS, and finally the last one for connecting to the Wi-Fi battles and reaching rank 5. While the Wi-Fi servers for the original DS are no longer available, you can actually still connect to replica servers, but they're full of hacked Pokemon. So I just fought fire with fire. Getting these 6 ribbons for the Battle Tower were honestly very tedious, and it took us almost 2 months to complete. But it was worth it to hop back onto this generation and see all the shenanigans young Joji got into with his action replay. After this, we headed over to Mount Silver to defeat arguably one of the best trainers of all Pokemon history, Trainer Red. With Shellshock and our HM Golduck, we duked it out with the Conqueror of Kanto. And at the very last moment, when victory was right in our grasps, his Charizard clutched and KO'd our Shellshock. You're joking me. Don't KO, don't KO. Oh my gosh, he survived with 1 HP? Oh, he gets knocked out here, but I think I still technically lose this. Wait, no, I win this. But not the way I wanted it to. I win this because I still have HM Silver on my team. So with an albeit lackluster win, we got our final ribbon of Generation 4, the Legend ribbon. Next up was Generation 5, with Pokemon Black and White and their sequels. But unfortunately, Game Freak decided not to give us any ribbons in this generation. Not that we couldn't see them on Shellshock, but there's just none to earn here. So after beating the Elite Four out of principle, we went and prepared to jump into another generation. Now to get to Generation 6, we hopped into Pokemon X, one of my favorite games. This generation introduced the new mechanic of Mega Evolution, and before the Ribbon Master run, I had actually never seen a Mega Blastoise. So I was actually pretty excited to get Shellshock into this game. And so we headed into Kalos' Pokemon League with Shellshock and the Blastoisinite. The run was fairly easy with Shellshock having attacks for every single Elite Four member. It's not until we reached to Diantha that I realized how scummy she truly is. I think Dark Pulse is the way to go here. You're joking me. Oh, that's how you win Diantha? You just decide to Mega Evolve and then just crash? Anyways, we beat her on our second attempt to earn the Kalos Champion ribbon. The only 2 ribbons left in this generation were at the Battle Mason, where we had to defeat a Battle Chatelaine at 20 normal battles and 50 super battles. And using a truly unique strategy, we were able to exploit the NPC's mindset to get these last 2 ribbons easily. We hop over to the remakes of Hoenn, Pokemon Omega Ruby, and after beating Steven and the Elite Four, we get the Hoenn Champion ribbon. Plus, we have some new contest ribbons to pick up, pretty easily too, because you can actually max out all the contest stats in this version of the game. We then take a tropical trip to the new Generation 7 in Pokemon Ultra Moon, and arguably one of the easiest Pokemon leagues to beat, the Alola Pokemon League. Shellshock had no trouble receiving the Alola Champion ribbon. Did I just get kicked out? Is that all that happens? There's no cutscene? That was it? Worst game, 0 out of 10. Too easy. Bald. We headed over to Royal Avenue to partake in an interesting form of battling in the Battle Royale Dome before making our way to the Battle Tree. Now the Battle Tree is similar to the Battle Masons, but at battles 20 for normal battles and 50 for super battles, we run into some familiar faces. And after defeating them, we get our 2 Battle Tree ribbons. Honestly, seeing a Mega Evolved Blastoise 2 generations in a row was exciting, but unfortunately, we may not get to see this form ever again, unless they allow Blastoise into Pokemon Legends ZA. But I'm hoping that we do get to see Mega Shellshock once again. Moving on to a new generation with a new gimmick form for Blastoise, we head over to the Galar region in Pokemon Shield, where there's actually only 3 total ribbons in this one of which is to beat the bracket style Galar League, which I may or may not have rigged accidentally, and the other is for conquering their form of the Battle Tower, which I'll be honest was pretty lackluster. But we did get to see Leon with a much stronger team at the end of it. I did say there are 3 ribbons to earn in Galar, but one of those is behind the online ranked ladder, where you need to win a Master Ball tier battle to get the ribbon. And unfortunately for me, I was late to the party and I'm still at Pokeball tier. So I'll hold off on earning that ribbon until we get to a different generation. You know, I almost forgot to get this next ribbon because I had all but erased this horrible game from my memory. I even made a whole non-Pokemon TCG related video about it, and yet I forgot that Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl existed. This game was almost like a fever dream. I literally beat this whole game with a single Bidoof. Well, actually 2 Bidoofs because of a silly game mechanic, but a single Bidoof the whole game. The Twinkling Star ribbon obtained by winning the Master Rank Brilliant contest did not get an increased visual score from any of the Pokeball stickers other than the Showmaster stickers and the Champion stickers. So at this point you had to be a pro at the dancing portion, and hope that all the other contestants use their Pokemon's moves at the same time as yours to even stand a chance to winning this contest. I tried almost for a month to get this one single ribbon, practicing the dance over and over until I was no longer missing a single cue, grinding out Pokemon League wins to get the champion stickers. And you know when I finally beat it? When I was practicing with 15 champion stickers and somehow got this ridiculous ribbon when I wasn't even recording. And I'm not embarrassed to say that I got this ribbon while I was in the restroom. As relieved as I was, both for getting the ribbon and after using the bathroom, I loathe the next time I have to get this ribbon for any of my other pre-Gen age ribbon masters. So we hop over to Generation 9, the current generation in the Paldean region. While this game had only 2 ribbons available to us, we can get 3 unique marks on Shellshock as well. Those are the Gourmand, Item Finder, and Partner marks. Each of these marks have a chance of being obtained when certain criteria is reached. And the most tedious of these is the Partner mark, which is given to your Pokemon with 200 plus friendship at a 1 in 100 rate every 10,000 steps. I honestly went hours with not getting this ribbon on Shellshock. It's so tedious that I'm actually doing this for a few other Pokemon while writing and recording this script. With all 3 marks on Shellshock, I figured we'd U-turn and get the ribbon we held off on earlier. That is the Rank Master ribbon. Like I said earlier, you need to win a Master Ball tier battle with the Ribbon Master on your team to get this ribbon. But unlike Pokemon Sword and Shield's ladder, Scarlet and Violet's ladder is very active, and it's been resetting at the end of each month. So I prepared to make the climb in June of 2024. And this might have been the worst time to make this climb with Shell Shock, as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was in Regulation G, where each team was allowed a restricted Pokemon. And with busted Pokemon like Shadow Rider, Calyrex, and Miraidon running amok on the ladder right now, it was going to be tough to climb to Master Ball tier in 4 weeks. Or so I thought. I loaded up some tried and tested rental teams from championship winners, researched some Pokemon VGC videos, and worked my way up to Ultra Ball tier in no time. And with 2 weeks to go and only wanting to stream this climb, I had about 3 streams left to make it to Master Ball tier and win a match with Shell Shock on the team. And with only a few days left, we were able to make it to Master Rank. Now we just needed to switch over to Shell Shock and my Los Angeles Regionals team to get a win. Our first match in Master Ball tier, we took a really bad loss. But luckily we can't rank down out of Master Ball tier once we got in. And almost immediately on our second match, we did it. We had won the Master Ball tier match we needed. One of the most difficult ribbons to get was ours. Shell Shock was now a rank master. After this, we only needed to coast through the Academy Ace tournament to get our final ribbon. And of course, to finish out this journey, Director Clavel himself decided to grace us with his presence. This was going to be an easy battle. I can do this all day, Clavel. Okay, I can't do this all day. Our final opponent was going to be none other than Hassel himself. This was going to be an easy win for Shell Shock. We had been through so much in the past half year, all the battles, the changing mechanics, the sweat, the tears, the perseverance, all for this final win. And with the Paldea Champion ribbon, Shell Shock has entered the ranks only few Pokemon have ever made it. We now had a Ribbon Master, a title that will live with Shell Shock for the rest of its existence. At the end of the day, Shell Shock being a Ribbon Master isn't just a title. This title means that we've been through so much together. All the losses that broke us in the Battle Tower, all the amazing clutches throughout our battles in Scarlet and Violet, and of course, the community of viewers that I had throughout this journey, cheering Shell Shock and I on. When I think of Shell Shock's title, I think of all those memories we've made together. And honestly, I'm never gonna forget this amazing first Ribbon Master. I have plans to make more Ribbon Masters in the future, but none of those will ever hold a spot in my heart like Shell Shock, the best Blastoise in the world.